If you want instant access to new videos as they're uploaded, then please click on the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to comment on the videos, and if you're interested in learning more about BetAngel, visit betangel.com today and download a free trial. So if you look here, I'm trading as you would typically expect, and having a poke around. But the interesting thing about this video is what you're actually doing is you're watching this on an Apple Mac. So I will prove this to you by putting the lid down, and you can see on there, Apple Mac. And how are we doing this? How are we recording and doing our trading on an Apple Mac when BetAngel is not compatible with a Mac? Well, the answer is we're using a remote desktop to connect, and we're using it via a VPS, via sporting servers. And let me talk to you and show you a little bit about how to achieve that on a Mac. But it's perfectly possible, if you want to trade on a Mac, to be able to do it. All you need to do, you've got several options, to be honest. This is the easiest one, but there are several ways of doing it. So let's have a look. So if you want to run BetAngel on a Mac, one option you have is to use Boot Camp, and the Boot Camp Assistant allows you to install Microsoft Windows on your Mac. So basically you would find Boot Camp Assistant, and then you would get a copy of Windows and install that on your Mac. And what will happen is when you start up your Mac, you'll get the choice to use it as either a Windows machine or a Mac. But you'd have to make that decision and then trade off of your Mac in that manner from that point onwards. So you can't run Windows on your Mac at exactly the same time. You would have to choose which way you want to go. So that's not necessarily a nice solution for everybody. But also you have to buy a copy of Windows as well, which you may not want to do. But Boot Camp Assistant will allow you to configure and partition your Mac so it can either be a Mac or a Windows PC. So that's an option that you have if you want to run Windows software like BetAngel on a Mac. There are other ways of doing it though, and if you don't want to install an operating system or dual boot your Mac, then another option that you do have available is something like VirtualBox from Oracle or Parallels. And what this allows you to do is to actually run a new operating system inside your Mac environment. So if you wanted to create a new operating system and run that in the background or run it as an application, then you can do that. You may get performance issues when you do this though, because it won't run as well as if you run it natively. So you don't have to boot it up as a Windows machine. You can actually run it in the background as a separate task, and then you can switch between your Mac and between this virtual machine to allow you to run BetAngel like that. Again, you'll require a Windows license to be able to do this, so you will have to purchase a Windows license in order to run the VirtualBox or Parallels. But nonetheless, this is a different way and a more integrated way of running PC software like BetAngel on your Mac. So that's another option that you have. But the best way to connect to BetAngel on a Mac is to use a VPS. Why would you do that? Well, you can see from the screen here that it looks exactly the same as if you were using on a PC, but you're obviously using it on a Mac. But also you can switch backwards and forwards between your Mac applications and whatever you're doing on your Mac and on BetAngel. Also, you don't need to pay anything for the Windows license. We pay that for you on the VPS. But also the advantage you've got is that you can actually use BetAngel on any internet-enabled device anywhere in the world. So that means you can connect to BetAngel and use it from an iPhone, from your Mac, from somebody else's PC, anywhere basically that has an internet connection that can use remote desktop software. And that is most devices, regardless of whether they're a Mac, PC or whatever. And obviously the advantage you've got here as well is that you can actually disconnect from your VPS and let it run automatically for you in the background. So you don't need to be connected for it to be running automated tasks, for example. It can do all of this in the background for you, even if you're not connected to the remote desktop. But if you do have the remote desktop connected, then it appears on your Mac and looks exactly the same way as if you had it running natively on your operating system. So a VPS means that you can do all of that. You don't have to pay a license. The cost of the VPS is separate to the software, so you do have to buy the VPS, and use it, but you can install whatever Windows software you want on the VPS. So if there is other Windows software that you wanted to use, you can use that on the VPS. You're not limited to just BetAngel, it's any PC software. So effectively you can sort of buy a PC and use it when you wish, but still have all of the benefits of keeping your Mac and using your Mac in exactly the way that it was intended. So yeah, I would recommend using a VPS because it's quick, simple, you don't have to install anything, there's no technical knowledge particularly required, and it looks and runs beautifully on here as though you were just using it like a normal PC. So that's what I'd recommend, is using a VPS.
If you're interested in learning more about BetAngel, visit betangel.com and download a free trial today.